Hi, happy Friday. Got another topic today. See what it is. This is kind of a boring one. Probably shouldn't say that. Nobody's gonna keep watching. I think it's just boring for me because I've told this story a bunch of times. But it's like an important part of my health journey, so it feels relevant to share. The very first weird diet that I tried after being diagnosed with ulcerative colitis was a raw vegan diet because somebody gave me or maybe I don't know, I was 14, so probably somebody suggested it to me, this book called Self-Healing Colitis and Crohn's or something like that. I believe the author's name was David Klein, and it basically did the whole like raw vegan thing. Like it talked about how meat and animal products and grains just like ferment in your large intestine, and that's what causes disease. So if you only eat fresh raw fruits and juices and like small amounts of raw nuts, your body will just detox all of the toxins and be perfectly healthy forever. I distinctly remember it saying like you won't ever have BO again, and I fully bought into this because I was 14 years old and I didn't yet understand that people can say things confidently when the stakes are kind of high and those things not be true. I didn't have a conception that that happens. I suppose one might call that gullible. I just believed people. Like, I believed that if there was a chance that somebody was wrong, that they would not speak with such confidence. And also, obviously, I wanted to believe that there was a solution for this chronic incurable illness that I was just diagnosed with, that the medical establishment did not have a cure for. So I did this diet for probably 1 month. I got down to around 80 pounds, and I'm 5'7", and my weight, my normal healthy weight right now is like 130, 135. And like, if you can't really see me because I'm wearing like very baggy clothes right now, but like I'm not a very large person. I'm pretty naturally slender. So yeah, you can imagine that at 80 pounds, I was kind of a skeleton. And so I was like mostly eating like raw fruits, like bananas, dates. We tried to do like high calorie ones. Part of the intro part of the diet did allow lightly steamed vegetables. So I remember having like a bowl of just like carrots and celery that were steamed just to the point where they were like still very crispy, but like slightly softer, with like the tiniest amount of salt on them. Such a weird food that I'd never ever would have eaten otherwise. And because it was salty, it tasted so good because nothing else that I was eating was salty. Did a lot of fresh juices. And my parents made like homemade almond butter in the Blendtec blender, which was a horrible, horrible time consuming process. But like the almonds had to be like raw and soaked and all kinds of stuff, so you couldn't just buy store-bought almond butter. It was a whole thing. I was extremely sick during that time. My diarrhea did not go away. I didn't feel good. I had no energy. I was really weak, obviously. And I remember like feeling this like deep darkness. I have a couple just like really really vivid, really, really brief memories, like a little snapshot of like sitting in the back of my dad's car as he drove me somewhere and just like having this immense feeling of depression, which I had never had before. I remember sitting in my room and my dad was trying to like teach me how to meditate in hopes that that would like just be like a nice beneficial thing for me. And I remember asking him like, is it possible, like, can you be too sad to meditate? Which that's that's just pitiful. So yeah, mentally I did not feel good. And yeah, after about a month of this, like while all this was happening, cat, stop eating my papers. I need these. While this was happening, we paid like hundreds of dollars to consult with the author of this book. And I'm pretty sure he had like degrees and stuff. Because like he claimed on the cover of the book that this had like 100% cure success rate. And he was like selling his coaching services. So paid a lot of money to like talk to this guy about our concerns. Like, hey, we're following this diet to a T and she doesn't seem to be doing well. And he basically just told us like that I need to be drinking more juices, which I cannot overemphasize how many juices I was already drinking. It was just like the classic, like blinders on guru kind of person where they assume that if you're not having good results, you must be doing something wrong. Like it must be your fault because like my method, my approach 100% for sure works for everybody. So if there's an issue, it's with the person, not with the approach. Very common, very dangerous. And yeah, by the end of that month, there was one night where I, all of a sudden, just like, I don't know, I had this like intuition that something felt very wrong in my body. And I remember telling one of my parents, like, I need to go to the hospital. And shortly after that, I stopped being able to like control my muscle movements. Like I remember my parents trying to put me in the car to bring me to the hospital and I like couldn't stand up. I just kind of like collapsed. I felt like really shaky. Like all of my limbs felt really shaky and like I couldn't voluntarily control my movements. So ambulance ended up coming and they brought me to the hospital in the ambulance. I don't remember that much of that experience. I remember them waking me up in the hospital bed at some point and giving me like Tums to eat. I guess because they're a good source of calcium, and that's just like all the other electrolytes and stuff they can give to you through an IV, but like the calcium you just have to eat. So yeah, but apparently it took them like a pretty long time to stabilize my condition. I had a really bad electrolyte imbalance and was kind of having seizures. So yeah, not good. And we stopped the diet after that. That was because before then, obviously my parents were really concerned about the weight loss and stuff, but I was like really convinced by this book, and the book has an answer for everything. Like anything bad that's happening, it's like, oh, you're just detoxing. Your body's just detoxing. So, yeah, after the hospital trip, we finally came to terms with the fact that I was not just detoxing and that this was not good for me. And I left a 1-star review of the book on Amazon and had some people responding to my review saying that I must have done something wrong. So yeah, truly remarkable how rigid some people's frameworks, like reality frameworks, can be, where they just, it's like a premise that this one thing has to work for everybody or has to be be right or true or whatever. So if they encounter a real experience that violates that, it has to be something incorrect about the real experience. So yeah, that's that story. I don't really think I have anything else to say about that except that uh, I don't recommend a raw vegan diet. I'll say that much. And not just because of my experience. I wrote like a blog series way back, like over a decade ago when I was in college about it wasn't specifically about raw vegan, just vegan in general. Because I studied nutrition in college, so I thought it would be fun to do a little like deep dive into what the potential nutrient inadequacies of a vegan diet could be. And like there are several. They aren't, you know, obviously plenty of people do maintain good health on a vegan diet long term, so it's not anything that you can't address through supplementation or through like really good genetics or whatever. But yeah, in general, not the most suitable diet for humans. And I do believe the claims of the book and other people like talking about the book that people have cured their colitis and Crohn's following a raw vegan diet. Like, I have no reason to doubt that just because I had a bad experience. But yeah, I think it goes to show that like if you have a problem, like a health problem that doesn't have a good solution, and it's like a pretty severe health problem that where the stakes are kind of high, I would say it's worth trying whatever, but you have to not delude yourself when it seems like you're not responding well to it. Like you have to actually listen to your own experience and not have this premise that like this must work, this has to work. So yeah, hope everyone has a good rest of your Friday, and go enjoy some cooked food.